You poor guy.
It's rough.
We're gonna have to do like Pilates first in here and then start. Hi everyone, welcome back to this second edition of GOS of Somerville TV. We're back. I'm not Brian.
We're in different seats, and tell them why, because they might like this story.
Sure. I don't know if any of you out there struggle with vision, like astigmatism, things like that, and I'm terrible, and my left eye is just pretty much blur. So we decided to switch sides because I couldn't see you last time.
Yeah, she couldn't see me.
him, couldn't see you.
And she didn't tell me, so
Now
all that you saw was totally acting.
Now I can see you, and you all look great.
All right, let's start.
Yeah, sure.
Let's first talk about the last crazy story.
It gets better, dude.
I hope you all watched it.
Yes.
Mike's story in Milford, the great train wreck, and we had great response.
Great. I mean, we had a lot of jaws dropped by the end.
I think so.
That was incredible. What
and
a story.
Mike did comment, and he said that he knew about that photographer, so I'm gonna talk to him about it. I'm gonna talk to him again about it so we can go. I'm gonna go out there and
We're gonna go out there
at least and shoot the site.
Absolutely. Don't you want to see what it looks like?
I want to see what it looks like, and I want to hear more about this photographer who ended up his demise
Getting hit by a train.
Hit by a train. But right now it is what? It's pretty good in here. I'm up to a 47. It's 47 in here.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's 50.
51.
51. I got it.
Don't ask me. I told you I can't see out of this eye.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, because we have no heat, which we said last time.
Right. But we made it.
But we wanted to first. Oh, did you notice I have a different color on?
Yeah, and you have it's very holiday, Brian.
Well, that's what I did. I figured for the month. It's my birthday next week.
It is.
So watch out.
It is. He's going to be 29 again.
29. I went with this look. I thought it was kind of festive.
And shockingly, I wore another ghost shirt.
There you go.
This one was designed by a friend of mine. She's really good.
We were 2 weeks away from Christmas. Did you get everything?
No.
No?
No. Do I look organized to you?
Yes, very organized. She
fooling
comes with
him.
notes, folks. Notes.
Yeah. If you saw my notes, you'd know.
But
So we got questions.
questions.
Which we love. Send
Which
in
we love.
questions.
We need more.
Yes.
We need more subscribers. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay. Let me find it. I need 2 glasses. I think our audience will understand.
We're a mess. Yeah, we're a mess.
No,
Glasses.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there wearing 2 sets of glasses.
Especially my age, you start to do that long arm thing. We put the monitors of us across the street so we could see it.
Yeah, across the street. Well, we're
It's
gonna change. This is all new. I told you, so we're gonna put monitors so we don't have to do all this. First question. I wanted to dive into this. This is from the Sea Spicer. That you mentioned you enjoy working along with psychics or mediums because you yourself are not sensitive. I thought this was interesting. I'm wondering how and why you became interested or involved with hauntings. You do seem to be very empathetic, kind person, responding to the ghost story, and I thought that was respectful and touching. So let's talk about sensitive as opposed to not sensitive, or why you think you're not, and why if you're not sensitive, why are you doing this?
I wish I were. I guess. I think there's some upsides and downsides to being sensitive. I know people who are sensitives who sometimes say, I have to get out of here, this is uncomfortable, things like that. And I can walk into the devil's lair and be like, and it's like the worst place in the world, and be like, hey, hey everybody. So I have that advantage because there's no fear. You know, I have friends who are sensitives who are like, no, I'm scared, I got to get out of here. But I'm like, of what? I don't feel it, it's not there. So, but I like to use sensitives because I like to start with sensitives because I don't know where to start. You know, I'll walk into a building and I don't feel it. So I say, where do you think we should go? What do you see? What do you feel? And then I can use my equipment and my reasoning and, you know, my science to sort of back up what they're feeling. So if they say, I'm feeling a woman in here, or for example, Mike, right? He said he had that, the man, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what I would do is maybe try to address that man, try to do an EVP session, an electronic voice phenomena. That's voice you can't hear. If you do hear it out loud, it's a disembodied voice. Little ghost hunting 101 here, but
Disembodied.
yeah, disembodied if you hear it out loud. And let me tell you, that's probably the thing that I get the most creeped out by. I don't really get creeped out, but when you hear someone talking next to you
And this has happened to you?
and no one's there,
This
it's
happens
creepy.
a lot to you? Or?
I've definitely had that happen many times. But more often, you'll play it back on a recorder and you'll hear a voice. So in Mike's case, I might go and say, hey, to the gentleman who's here, can you tell me your name? That type of thing. But I started with somebody who was sensitive and could see that.
So that you ask a medium, say, well, who am I looking for or talking to?
Right.
Because you have no idea. And then when they tell you, then you go and
Right.
and use your... And, okay, now why and how did this start in your life? There must have been a reason.
Yeah, I mean, as a child, I was that kid who wasn't afraid of what was under the bed and wasn't afraid of the closet. And I would be the one to say, there's nothing in there, go back to sleep, to my siblings or whatever. I would open the door and be like, see, nothing's there, and I'll go to sleep. I just didn't have that fear. So, and all my friends would run past cemeteries and I'd be like, oh, look at that.
You weren't afraid of the dark?
No, I was not afraid of the dark when I was young. But then when I reached, just when I started college, I got very interested in history. We're really blessed in this area of the country. When I moved to New Jersey, I went to Rutgers, I started to see these old buildings and I got really interested in the history of them. And I think that it's part of it, right? I mean, it's part of the history. These people who lived there and died there. And I would walk in and just imagine what that was like. And I wanted part of it. And so I just started, investigating.
This was
and it got
20...
This is 5 years ago when
5
I was
years
in
ago?
college. No, like 1986, maybe.
You just started doing it.
Yeah, and
as
my
a
mom
hobby,
gave me
like.
a great book. My mother, Janine, gave me an amazing book by a historian in Rochester, where I'm from, about a place called Valentine. And he was a historian and everything, one of those jack of all trades people. And he loved to investigate spirits too. So, and I thought, how can you do that? How do I do that? How do I combine that interest in history? And how can I actually bring that history back to life, kind of thing? And that's how it started.
That's how it started.
That's how it started. But my team now, I've been with for 3 years, and I've also been working with a friend for about 8 years. She is a sensitive. So maybe that's part of it too. I mean, we have this, relationship where she feels it out, and then I back it up with equipment. Works. It works.
Are you sensitive to the squirrels now that they're eating? We have lots of squirrels that live in here.
I heard them before.
Yeah, well, you'll get used to it.
But you know what's funny is that you can't turn it off when you're an investigator, right? So
Yeah.
before I was in here and the squirrels were going, and I'm like, what was that?
Just squirrels.
And I'll do that in my house. Like, do you hear that noise? My husband's like, no, I don't hear that noise. Like, do you hear that? No.
Well, I can't hear anything anymore. My ears are shot from standing in front of Marshall stacks for 30 years. But
I can't see, you can't hear.
hey, that works. I'll be your eyes, of course, 2 pairs of eyes, and you'll be my ears.
I love it. I love it.
No, we have lots of squirrels. They're making their homes, and they're not in the building. They're in the soffits, and I let them go because I figured, I got rid of the one soffit on this side because that's where I have the basketball court.
I know.
And because there used to be a raccoon that lived in here. And it's really funny because just yesterday, he still comes back because I could see his little mud prints. He hangs over the edge and he's looking for a way into the soffit, which is not there. So he could see his little mud prints all the way down.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, but he's in the back. This soffit's still here. He's here. And the other squirrels are on that. There's a soffit there, so they're living there.
So if you hear footsteps,
Yeah.
not haunted.
No, it's a squirrel.
Just haunted by squirrels. And that's funny. That's definitely my thing is when I was younger, like I said, disproving hauntings. It was always my favorite thing. People would say, oh, we have a ghost in our attic. And then I would go up there and find the squirrels, kind of thing. And I think I had that satisfaction of, nope, not haunted. And that's how I went into it.
So you like to disprove
I do.
things. So what happens when you go in there and somebody talks to you?
Yeah, I'm your best friend if you want to find a spirit, or because if I can't, debunk it,
Then what?
it's something. Then it's something.
It's something.
Because I'll go through a lot to disprove a haunting. But if I can't,
And did you do investigating this last weekend?
I did.
Where'd you go?
I did. We were in New York at the Borland House and Bed and Breakfast, and it was beautiful. Anywhere in like that whole Hudson Valley is gorgeous. That's part of it. You go to these beautiful places, mansions, and well, then again, I also hang out and
I was
aside.
coaching a basketball game, and we won, by the way.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, it was something very different for us because last year, being in third grade, they played fourth graders, so it was a mess. We won one game last year, I think it was.
Oh boy.
This year, something clicked.
Nowhere to go but up.
Oh my gosh! So I think it was 32-11 or something.
Wow.
And I tried to keep them back. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing on weekends.
That's nice of you.
Yeah.
Speaking of nice, I also did want to say thank you for saying that I was respectful, because that's very important to me.
Oh, in the question.
Yeah, in the question. Going back to the question, thank you for saying that, because that's extremely important to me.
That we stay on a level and respectful.
Of course. Respect everyone, living
Yes.
and dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, with that.
Did I answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the other one? Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll grab another question.
Be right back.
And we're just walking up to the front door to open the door, and we heard like weird noises coming from inside the house. Almost like a woo, kind of like weird noises, and I was like, what is that? We found a meat cleaver, like a really old, big meat cleaver. My parents went away for vacation and had some friends over for a party, and we decided we were going to try to talk to Mrs. Mix.
What about you, G? You still have that ghost that lives in your house, whatever? What's her name again?
Mrs. Mix.
Oh, come on, man. Ghosts. Give me a break.
Banging and all that stuff. Mostly up in the attic. That's where they found her half-eaten body from her cats. Yeah. I know.
Wait,
it
what?
sounds crazy. Yes.
Ready, boys? Let's do this thing. Okay, everybody, place your fingertips down like this, like so.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Just get your hands down here. Come on, bro.
Whoa.
What the?
It's Mrs. Mix. It's Mrs. Mix.
The Ouija party. It didn't go well.
When you're playing with a Ouija board, you don't know who you're inviting or what you're inviting into that.
Is it possible it wasn't her they reached?
And that's very possible.
I would really feel, what is she going to do to me now?
Because as the saying goes, if only walls could talk. Well, apparently, in Somerville, they do. The question basically is, spirits are more sensitive to sound than humans are. Do you think that's
More sensitive.
more sensitive? I don't, because I guess they respond to drums before they would someone just talking to them, you think?
Depends on who's listening, I think. I mean, we did mention that there may be Native Americans in his area. They could respond to it like drumming, chanting, that type of thing.
She's saying, for an example, that his drumming is what
It could
woke
be.
up the Manhattan Smith. We also had the chat, and Rosie chimed in, and her perspective was that it wasn't Manhattan Smith, it was the spirit of the house, which kind of brought Manhattan Smith to Mike
Mike attracted Manhattan
Yes.
Smith.
through the other
not?
spirit that was in his house.
That
So
could
that was
be.
an interesting concept.
Well, yeah, if you have an intelligent spirit, they could say, hey, Mike can hear you.
Yes.
You know, listen to those drums. Mike can hear you.
Yeah, or maybe the spirit said something like, "Hey, Manhattan Smith, I got someone who's listening."
I would just
Come
love
on
to, once in my life, to say, "Hey, Manhattan Smith."
Manhattan Smith.
I'm not having any more children, but that would be what I would name my next child, Manhattan Smith.
Manhattan Smith.
I think a lot of times what we do as investigators is we start out with maybe like a singing bowl. You've seen those?
Yes.
Or drumming. We've done drumming. Especially where we know there's a lot of Native American presence. We'll do drumming. So absolutely, he could pull people in with those drums.
And where Mike's
100%.
located is, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
He finds Indian heads. He said he has
Yes.
so many things that he
Yes.
doesn't even keep them anymore.
Yes.
Where his house is located in the valley of the two, must have
Right.
been a great spot to settle.
It must have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have. And he's aware of that. And I love that he didn't say, you know, you have to leave. Because speaking of respect, these people had been there, you know, hundreds and
And like
hundreds
you
of
said,
years
as long
ago.
as you don't frighten the children,
Yeah.
hang out.
Yeah. And people don't often think to say, hey, just don't do that. It frightens the children.
Yeah, they rush right away to get rid of it.
And that can make it worse.
Oh, really?
You know, he was talking about the smudging, and I got a little nervous. I thought, ooh, you know, just be careful.
Yeah. I had a lot of people ask me, what the heck is smudging?
I don't do smudging myself, but obviously I work with people who do that. There's all kinds of ways to purify a house, cleanse a house, you know, using things like Palo Alto, sage, things like that. But that's not my job. Definitely.
So
more-
it's a whole nother.
Yeah, I don't think, I always say don't be a poser. You know, don't go grab a sage and start saging your house unless you know what you're doing.
Because that could be.
Yeah, don't, you know, we love YouTube, but don't go on YouTube and find out how to sage your house. It's not a good idea.
No.
Fix your car, you know, whatever, fix your...
You know, that reminds me, I had to replace that bathroom sink that it's been
There you
sitting
go.
in.
Go on YouTube
Yeah.
for that, but don't go on there
It's
for
been sitting in a box
cleansing
for about
spirits.
2 months. We've been tripping over it.
Oh, good.
I just got a special tool yesterday.
We've all done that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
we've
thought
all
it'd be
done that.
easy, but because I've done my kitchen.
Oh, I was going to say, you thought it'd be easy because it was on YouTube.
No, I
People
thought
say that all the time.
I just figured, well, I did a kitchen, I'll replace a bathroom faucet, but you know, it's the pedestal sink, so I can't get my hand on the. So I had to get a special tool, and I'm like, oh man, I really did it to myself now.
And there's that thing where, like, I'm bigger than it. I can figure this out. And you
Yeah.
get more and more frustrated.
Well, I usually, I get that from my father because my father teaches me still.
That's
He'll be helping me
fantastic.
with this, I'm sure.
I called my father last night about a leak in my roof, so
There you go.
you gotta do it.
You just, you're needed forever. That's basically what it is.
yeah. And he pretty much told me to go on the roof with a ladder. Like, good
Yeah,
luck.
what I'll
you may
do
be
is-
investigating me pretty soon.
I'm going to wrap up the tool that I got for the sink and give it to him for Christmas so he can help me.
Love it.
That's what
Here
we
you
usually
go,
do.
Dad.
We pass
Merry
tools back and
Christmas.
forth.
Now fix my sink.
Help me fix my. Or as the boy would say, because he fixed my kitchen sink once, he took his belt off to with a leather strap to loosen it without scratching it. So my son, at the time, this was a couple years ago, so he just was like, it's Grandpa's magic belt. So anything that we need fixing, he would say, tell Grandpa to bring his magic belt over.
I love that. I love that.
Come on,
That's
everybody
great.
has stories like that.
Oh, everyone does. I mean, that's so Disney. That's like Dumbo with the magic feather.
Yes.
Now you can fly.
Speaking of which, the holidays are coming, and we don't know what to get anyone. So, speaking of my father and my family and everybody else, they have lots of books. So I'll leave the links in the description. But if you're into some Somerville stuff, I mean, my father has the Cliff Street Boys. This has a story of Hangman's Hill. He was in that house that's no longer there.
Okay.
Okay.
This is excellent. We're going to get into that.
True Tales of Ghosts. I'm picking all the books that kind of go with our theme.
Yeah.
And this has a lot of local stories. One of them, Mrs. Mix is in here, Mrs. Mix.
Okay.
And here's another one, Kate May Ghost. This is a really good one. This is part of my father's series.
And your father's name so they can look it up?
I'm sorry, it's Richard Vadum.
Okay.
We're
Richard.
Vadimsky, but that's the funny story too. My whole life being a Vadimski in the music business, everybody would say, well, why don't you change your name? You know, no one can pronounce your name.
Change it to Manhattan Smith.
Yeah. It was like this long name, so I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm, proud of my family name, and if you can't say, Vadimski, no one could say it. It's Vadiminsky, Vadiminsky. So I kept it. So here's the kicker. All my career, I did not change the name. My father wrote his first book, 20 years ago.
He changed the name. No,
I was
he didn't.
like, are you kidding me? So, and then when I got into television, forget it, because they couldn't even pay me correctly because the name was so. That's why I said, all right,
Really?
and I went to Brian Vadum because they couldn't on the call sheets. It was a mess. They just,
Really?
I don't know what it is about big names, large names. They just couldn't. So it was a mess. So I said, all right, since my father did it, I'll do it. But
okay.
Anyway,
that's
my
good.
last book. Here you go. This is the movie, my last movie, but it's also a book. It's a killer ghost story.
Don't miss it.
It's the ghost of Billy Shire. It's local. I can't tell you where it is.
No.
They won't let me, but
It's excellent.
The Hid.
Excellent.
It's a movie now on Amazon, and oh, you know what? We'll just play up.
Yeah.
We'll play the trailer for you.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to see me dance, Mama?
Come on, Billy. Come with Mama. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mama loves you very much. You're a very good boy. And Mama does want to see you dance, but first we gotta hide. We gotta hide, Billy. They're coming for us. Come on. You gotta get in here. Yeah, Mama loves you so much. But you gotta come in here. You gotta stay really quiet. You just gotta stay really quiet. Come on. Move your legs. Come on. You got it. Please, Billy, please come with Mama. Come now. Come on, baby. We're almost there. Come on. This way, this way. I got it now. I got it now. Come on, baby boy. Don't fight me. I love you. I love you. You get in there now. Get in. Get there inside. Get inside there. Okay. Now you just stay there. Stay in there and you be real quiet. You hear me?
Helen Shire. Come for the boy.
Welcome back to Dead Air. I am your host, Marla Wyckoff. We are on a super cool location this week. We are investigating the death of Billy Shire and his mother, who were wrongfully murdered by the town. Billy was believed to be demonic and possessed.
Are all going to die.
Can you please just stop? You're really freaking me out.
Open the door, Marla.
If you believe in God, then you have to believe in the devil.
Local legends. You brought up that we
Right.
should discuss some local legends because we all have them.
Yeah, a lot of people who got back to us talked about local legends. For example, things I didn't know about, which was great because I'm not originally from here, and I think these legends come up in your youth, a lot of them. Like, like I mentioned before, you try to run past, the devil's tree and, that kind of thing because you're scared of it. So we heard about the pig lady,
The
something
pig lady,
like that.
yeah, the pig lady, which is
You're going to tell me what that is?
Royce Brook Road, I believe.
Okay, by Duke Farms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to drive your car. It's on the bend. There's a gate, and I think it's like if you hit your. Let me comment, as I
let
can't
us
remember.
know if you know.
You hit your horn 4 times or something, and she appears in the road or something like that. The joke of it is the pig lady, of course, is from the.
Mm-hmm.
That's where It originated.
Paul's Mills, right.
All these things come from something.
Of course.
And if you, which I believe it was in this courthouse, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
the
I'm
trial.
sure.
Yeah.
It was, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they were found together underneath the tree.
That's right.
And it was a pig farmer. She was very eccentric. And ill at the time, I believe. I think she had TB or something like that. But they brought her in on a bed. She laid in bed in court, if I'm not mistaken. It was very strange. And she was
Boy.
called the Pig Lady. Somehow turned into
Right. I
this
think
legend.
that's what happens is it turns into something little by little.
Turns into something.
Yeah. Wow.
Just like the
okay.
Jersey Devil,
Yeah.
we won't get into it today, but
That's a whole,
But
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's a million things about the Jersey Devil and
Yeah.
podcasts and books and everything, and Weird New Jersey, which I
Yes.
recommend. It's great
Yes.
stuff.
another one was the glowing gravestone.
The glowing gravestone,
which I've seen, and that is Stanton. Is that Stanton? It's
By
in Reddington.
Reddington?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Reddington. And I've seen it and taken pictures of it. Of course, I don't have the pictures anymore, but it's still there.
Do you know why? Is it just the light, street light or something? I don't know. Well, I'm not trying to ruin it for anybody.
It's possessed. It's a possessed stone.
okay.
Come on, stop it.
We got
I didn't believe it either.
Let's go right to that.
This is, this got to be 30 years ago when I saw it. You would drive down, it's right next to the graveyard. I'm not next to the graveyard. Next to the church is the graveyard. And if you slow down, I don't know if there's a map location of it. Does anybody?
I know someone who knows where it is.
Okay. But
top secret.
You just hit it just right, and all of a sudden you look, and it's glowing green, fluorescent green gravestone.
I feel like with these things, there's two sides to it, right?
There's two sides.
There's two sides because my best friend told me about the glowing grave, and she said that her mom's club got together and they all tried to catch it, at night.
Yeah.
And again, I think people like to be scared.
Yes.
So I try to look at it two ways. Like one, it's fun to be scared. So suspend your disbelief a little bit, even if you know that it's probably something reflecting. See, because as a scientist, I go right in. That's this reflective material and the angle of the sunlight and everything.
Yeah.
But doesn't that take away from the fun of it?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have some fun.
You have to have some fun. I mean, in this
it's fun
world,
to be scared.
Have a little bit of fun. It's fine.
Exactly.
You're allowed to believe.
Yeah. In my day job, I debunk everything, but that's why this is so much fun for me because I get to just have fun with the scary stuff.
Yeah.
The spooky stuff. So yeah, the glowing grave, and what else? Well, the Devil's Tree, which I have been to and investigated.
And we're going to get into Devil's Tree, and we're going to show some footage.
Yeah.
Tell you the story. We'll tell you the story, the history. We like to always tell the history of things. It doesn't just, boom, happen.
Yeah, and typically it's, not a nice history.
It's never a nice history.
Yeah, and you wonder how much negativity people have poured into that location over the years. That's my first thought. I love to think about thought forms. You know what that is?
No.
Thought forms. So that's my whole thing now, is I wonder how many places just have things that have risen from people's ideas or negativity type thing. They were never there before. They just were created by people.
And negative energy.
Let's say, there's a little boy who haunts, the house next door. And everybody believes that. And they name him. And they give him characteristics. And he comes to life. That's
becomes real.
a thought form. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can actually, get reactions from this non-existent being.
Really?
I've seen programs where they get voices from somebody who never existed.
Wow.
That's
Just-
yeah.
It's energy.
Yeah, but someone created it. It's not really the little boy who is haunting.
Now, is that
Thank
like
goodness.
poltergeist, like you explained? Where it's like
Not
that's
quite.
human, where you can create the
Yeah, not
lights to
quite.
flicker?
Like a lot of teenage girls, that happens too. You have things moving or light bulbs blowing out,
And it's
or
them.
people just with a lot of energy. I had someone get back to me about this show saying that they drive under streetlights and they go out.
Really?
Who knows? Who knows?
Wow.
Let us know in the comments if you ever had that happen to you. Like you were really mad and something fell, or a light bulb went out, or something like that.
Yeah, anything.
It happens.
Any kind of strange things that you've witnessed.
depending on your mood. Like, let's say you just got really mad about something, or when you were younger.
And there could be the little snippets. A lot of people don't contact us because they feel like, well, it's not a real story. Well,
We want to know.
I've discussed this many times about one time me and my wife went to Vermont to get our Christmas tree. We did something crazy. We drove up to Vermont to get our Christmas tree.
I love that.
And then come back the next day. That night, it was gotta be I guess it was 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'm outside, and it's very dark in Vermont. Like, you have a light where we're staying off of Route 7A, which I find out later that there's a creature of 7A.
Oh.
Okay? So you don't see anything else, get stuff in the car, and I hear this unbelievable grunting noise right across the street in the pitch black.
Oh, no.
But it wasn't a grunting noise of wait a minute. Your camera went out.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Speaking of, your camera goes out when you get mad.
Yes, that's one.
Or you get scared. Doesn't have to be mad.
It was a grunting noise that I've never heard before, and that's what I was talking about. It's like sometimes when you witness something, you rarely do you see or hear something that you can't explain.
Of course.
So here I am, and it was a big bellowing, large animal, large cavity. You can hear that it was like a lion
moose or
call,
something?
a lion
Okay.
call, very deep.
Guttural, deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is not, a deer grunting or anything like that.
You're not the outdoorsman?
No. So I bring my wife to the door. I said, look, just so I'm not crazy, you hear this.
And she heard it.
She heard it.
Well, I thought you were going to say, you go get it.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
No, so I said...
Make your wife get it.
I said, I'm going to get my camera and go back down there. And of course she says,
Good for you.
are you crazy?
No, that's what you do.
happens
You
in the
run to
movies.
it. Oh, yeah. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Just going to go chase this big creature.
I take my old camcorder. I know I couldn't see anything, but I figured it would record the audio. Yeah.
Of course.
Take it down to the end of the parking lot, and I'm talking from me. I see the road, 7A, which is 2 lanes, and then complete darkness, and this thing had to be 30 yards away.
Oh.
Figure, 30, 40 yards. And it's loud, and it's getting closer to me, and I'm looking at, and I'm recording, and I'm seeing the things dial. I think I've got plenty of footage of this. This is unbelievable. It's the Bigfoot. It's the creature of 7A.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is.
The creature of 7A.
All excited, go back in. Next day, we go to bed. I get up. We go down to the breakfast area, and the owners are there, and I'm telling them the story, and they're like, "Oh my God!"
Did they know it?
Up. No, because they just bought the inn or something like that.
Because I bet locals have heard it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I hit the play button and didn't record.
No.
I mean, it's just like.
Well, it's a personal experience.
I know, but it was so devastating. So that I did research later, and I said it must have been a moose.
A moose. That's
It
the
must
first
have
thing I
been.
said was
'cause,
moose.
yeah, what are you telling me? It has to be. But I couldn't quite replicate the sound and all the recordings that I heard.
Right.
I can get the kind of pitch, but this was something I'll never, ever forget. And that's what I mean. It's a story that...
I love those stories.
You're like, I can't believe I'm witnessing this.
Yeah. Those are the stories we want to hear.
That's what we want to hear.
That's what we want
I know
you
you
to
all
tell
have at
us.
least something.
Yeah,
And
don't worry. If you don't want to use your name, you don't want to be on
comment
camera,
anonymously and say, this
just
happened to
tell
me
us
one
or
night.
message us privately. We can keep you
Yeah.
anonymous.
Yeah.
We'll still tell your story because it's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get eaten by the creature of
Yeah, the
7A.
creature of 7A.
But isn't it funny how every town has these legends? Like you said, Hangman's Hill. I don't know about that.
So what else are we going to talk about?
So I'm very interested in that old cemetery on Southbridge Street.
The cemetery.
That's someplace that I have been and walked around, and it's gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history there.
A lot. A lot. I would love to tell some of those stories.
There's a lot of ghost stories there.
Really?
Oh my gosh, that's how this happened. This is how all of this happened. I told you, it was on my board meeting, and the guy who runs that started talking about these sightings. And that's when I realized I was going to originally do a documentary series on hauntings, Cape May or
right,
somewhere.
Someplace that had a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more. You know, I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do next. And then when he started talking, and I was like, well, why should I go anywhere?
No.
You know, and so that's how this all started. And then that's why Mrs. Mix was done as the first one, and then Old Dutch, and then now we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to do a feature on that.
Yeah.
But there is a ton. I mean, every time we get together, he tells me another story. And not just him. Other people will say, oh my God, did you just
They saw
see
things
that?
in the cemetery.
Yes. Daylight. Not at
exactly.
night. Oh, yeah. It's not like what
I said that
people
last
think.
time. Yeah, no, not at all. You can just be there in the daylight and see something.
So we'd like to get into there.
Although I'd like to think that cemeteries aren't, I always like to think they're not haunted. I like to think that you're not there anymore, that you chose a better place to be than you know, a graveyard. But
who knows?
I personally have never seen or heard anything in a cemetery, but I just think it's so beautiful. And people have so many stories about it. We have to go there.
Yes.
We're going there.
We're definitely going there.
Yeah.
And
we may get thrown out, but we're going there.
yeah, we have to.
There's always
do
that.
It, you know.
Yeah.
Guerrilla filmmaking, they call it.
Guerrilla. Look at me. Do I look like a guerrilla filmmaker?
We can't bring the big cinema camera.
Yeah,
We'll
no.
have to just kind
of. Yeah, just iPhone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do some of these local legends.
Yeah.
We're gonna do something that I feel that it's out there. We just haven't heard the story yet.
Exactly.
Somebody's watching, saying, "Should I tell them? Should I tell them? Should
Tell
I
us.
them?
Tell us.
Tell us.
Tell us. I know you all have stories. I know you do.
Also, what we talked about at the Good Content Quickly Coffee Club meeting that I go to every morning, that about doing the Mike story as a feature. And
absolutely.
I was like, well, being that, I said, well, you know, how do we, you know, we have all this stuff that Mike has. We have the great interviews, but we like to have recreations. But of course, I can't recreate a train falling in a.
No.
You know, we don't have that kind of budget. But
no.
I thought it'd be interesting to recreate the train car, and we were thinking, do you think we could do it in here?
Of course.
Can we make a train car in here?
And what those last moments were like?
Moments, and have a dialogue between the passengers.
Yeah.
One of them being Manhattan Smith.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you know what? It was nighttime. This little soundstage. I want that challenge.
Yeah, I agree.
To make this a train car, and maybe some of you out there want to be in it.
Sure.
As an extra to be sitting. You know, why not?
Yeah.
And we'll create a dialogue of drama, what they might have been thinking about.
Yeah, he had 2 children at home and one on the way. So he was thinking about getting home to his wife and kids.
Yeah, so we thought, you know, at first I was like, oh, feature, being that I just got done with one, I was like, you know, you know when you get something done, and the last thing you want to do is go, you know, jump back into that mountain.
Of course, but Brian, when the story comes, I mean, you're an artist, so when the story presents itself, you got to do it.
You got to do it. So that's what I was thinking.
It was such a good
like,
story.
I was like, you know what? We can turn this little soundstage into inside of a train car.
Sure. But we have to go there, too. I want to see the bridge. You said the bridge is still rebuilt, correct?
Yes, the site is there.
The site is there.
The bridge is long gone.
Okay. And maybe we can get a psychic medium there.
Yes. And see what happens.
And get some information from, this is what I was saying in the beginning, get some information from the psychic medium to use in that feature.
Yeah.
You know, she can say, I feel like he was nervous, or he wasn't nervous at all, or whatever he was. And we can put those pieces into it.
Yes.
And it all comes together.
If the town lets us and we get a permit.
Yeah, of course. Everything's above board.
Well, not everything. It's very difficult. No one wants anything done. The last feature to hit.
Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah.
Can't talk about where it was done. I had to do everything mostly in here.
Yeah.
Nobody
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Just so you realize, The hid, it takes place on a lake. So everyone can understand that I wanted to get some footage of the actual place.
Sure.
15 seconds of footage was going to cost $1,500.
For a lake, for cabins? They're cabins?
No, just to go like this. Just to go like this. To put my tripod on the ground was $1,500.
Wow.
They wanted me to get game wardens, workman's comp.
Game wardens.
Me, myself, with a camera. Not a crew.
No.
So that was the help I got from all the commissions that they say they want to help out local filmmakers. That was the help. The help was, it's going to cost this much. So
I feel like we can do better than that, Somerville. Come on.
Well, I thought I was
That wasn't Somerville, but Somerville, come on.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You know, we're trying to draw attention to your gorgeous history.
Trying to support. Well, that's why it really worked out. The Old Dutch really worked out.
Yeah, we're trying to support our town here. I mean, that's number one. We're trying to tell the story of our town through hauntings.
Yes, and it's like, you know, you're looking at a gift horse in the mouth.
You sure are.
I mean, and my example too, when I was discussing it with this entity, that gee, you know, when I was young and the Friday the 13th was shot in North Jersey, they're still raking in the money, renting out weekends, and people go up there to visit. And look at that's a long time ago, a lot of money. And here I was trying to bring attention to a certain area, and instead,
I can understand they don't want people there. Like, I can understand they don't want people breaking in, because a lot of the large haunted locations I go to have a massive problem with that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I did the Old Dutch. They did the premiere. It was a benefit.
People
they
loved
got
it.
Donations.
Exactly, and people started to visit it.
Yes.
People like me who had never been there in 26 years.
They were like, where's this? What's this about?
Well, I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do, too.
Yeah,
it's like,
draw
we don't
attention
just
to these
do this
buildings.
because we're trying to have everybody win.
Definitely.
And, you know, and
Definitely.
that's hopefully people will see the light.
Well, you know what I always say, if you do good things.
That's it.
Good things come back.
Well.
No, they will. They will. They will.
We're still waiting for them to come back, but anyway, so that's it. We'll do a quick wrap and
yeah. So we'll show you some of the locations. I'm breaking your chair.
Oh, that's all right.
We'll show you some of the locations that we're interested in. You let us know what you want to see, and we'll go there.
That's what we'll do. We'll just we'll insert some of these things and.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go do some today.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go to the cemetery.
Oh, okay. Shh.
I mean, I'm gonna go look at the cemetery from outside the broken fence.
Yes. Okay.
It is broken. You know that, right? It's like all pushed down and broken.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Okay.
Oops.
You didn't hear it here, folks.
Nope.
Nobody's watching. Don't worry about it.
No. It's good. It's good. I think you can
happened.
call and get in.
By the time they see this, it's already happened.
That's true. That's true. And my name is Brian. No. You don't know my name.
Just say I couldn't hear anything and you can't see anything. So.
Yep.
So that's it.
Right.
So
let us know your local legends.
Yes.
Legends. And let us know your ghost stories. Maybe it's your house. Maybe in your house you hear things. You hear footsteps. You hear voices. And not everybody wants that investigated. I get that. But I'd like to hear the story.
Just tell us. We'll talk about it here if that's.
Let's get spooky.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll see you again next time.
Thank you.